All right, everyone, we start off today, of course, with a recap of a few notable things that happened in 2023 because there's only a few more hours left in the year, and then the magical year 2024, the chaos year, which is what I think it's likely to be, begins. It's been a chaotic year this year, too, but I think next year is going to take the cake. Some winners of the year. First, Elon Musk, one of the big winners of the year. Despite getting dogpiled by the entire legacy media, other tech firms, the fucking government, Twitter is still there. Supposedly it was supposed to die a couple of times by now, but they found a way. By the way, a few of those major investors that decided to haul off and leave, they came crawling back because they realized how much money they were losing, because that's the name of the game, and that's what Musk is involved with as well, and they decided to bet on the winning horse, and the winning horse, not DC legalism in the case of Twitter. It's just there's too much money and power, I think, there for them to really tackle it properly. So Musk, I think, one of the big winners of the year. Also, here's another winner. Some people debate this. John Fetterman, actually. Yes, Lurch himself, the 6'5" dude who looks like he's built like a brick shithouse in Congress. The one that defeated Mehmet Oz, and he had a stroke during the actual campaign and really should have dropped out, but whatever. He's actually distinguished himself as being like a Joe Manchin figure at this point, which I did not expect to happen. He's got the Geek Squad gunning for him because of his staunch support of Israel in the Israel-Gaza conflict. He's trolled people multiple times. He trolled Menendez there, who's going to be put on trial for his various alleged crimes. He got what's his name there, who just got expelled from Congress, Sam Brinton, I believe it was, to do a cameo to him, to Bob Menendez, and I thought that was funny. He's got people on the left howling about him. Now, this doesn't mean that he's anything other than a standard liberal. I still don't like his positions, minus a couple of them. But when you've got the real far left gunning for you from within the Democratic Party, we needed a replacement for Manchin to make them pissed off. And so if he can accomplish nothing else, at least we found a Democrat who has one redeeming quality. He's hip to the trolling, so at the very least there's some humor involved. Also, Javier Milei. Milei, probably the biggest winner of the year, of course, seizing control in Argentina, and he's already fulfilled a number of his goals in the first few weeks he's been there. He's not a show pony. He's definitely going to be a workhorse politician. I expect him to boil the frog further over the coming years and probably end up being reelected. I can't imagine. I mean, as long as the economy doesn't flatline, he can deregulate to his heart's content, things get revving up. I think he's definitely the winner of the year, Javier Milei. Now, notably, you'll note that I haven't said Donald Trump's name as winner of the year. That's because things in that case are still so malleable and so chaotic, it's difficult to figure out what's going to happen. I suspect he'll be the winner of the year next year, though, because I suspect he'll be reelected. Because that would be the funniest outcome and the most fun outcome for the most people. It would also be good for the economy, and so we'll wait. He'll probably be coronated the winner of the year for 2024 instead. Losers. Sheila Jackson Lee, mayor of Houston. She got absolutely shit-canned after her little scandal involving her call there being leaked, the recording being leaked, where she was berating one of her staffers and just completely going apeshit on him, complaining that he didn't have the date of some appearance on a piece of paper and had to get it from someone else, and this just triggered her for no reason, and she wondered why she got absolutely gobsmacked and crushed in her re-election bid. So she's gone. She's bye-bye out of politics. And there are a lot of losers, by the way, for the year. So we had to parse it down to just 3 here. Second, Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley, right at the end of the year, decides to effectively torpedo her presidential ambitions with her Civil War comments. And then twice now, I didn't even bother covering the third incident. Twice she tried to ass cover and failed miserably. She is digging herself into a deeper hole. The problem is that she was the only one who had any viable path to potentially winning in any of the starting states, therefore establishing viability through Super Tuesday. It was Haley or bust. We'll be doing in memoriam for Ron DeSantis' presidential ambitions, by the way, in a separate video today. He's no longer viable. He's going to lose in Iowa. Trump will win that. And then I expect Trump now to win New Hampshire fairly handily. Nikki Haley was arguably within a very low double-digit threshold and any last-minute movement would have favored her potentially. I don't think she gets that momentum. So Nikki Haley, the second biggest loser of the year. Arguably the biggest, but I'm saving the biggest loser for Mark Rutte, actually. After the Tractor Party coalesced and knocked his party out in the legislative body over in the Netherlands, Mark Rutte, too, lost his job because of the rise of Geert Wilders' party, actually, which is something that a lot of us were hoping for some time, because the Netherlands was going off into globalistic la-la land, and now it looks like there's a chance that for them to have a moonshot to eliminate like a few layers of that globalism, and at the very least not, I don't know, confiscate people's farms and drive the economy into the ground in so doing. You know, Netherlands is the second largest agricultural importer in the entire world, and they managed to do it with a land area not much more than twice the size of my tiny homestay. They're doing something right. The Dutch government appeared to think that this was a bad thing for some reason. Oh my God, we're exporting too much. There are too many people are coming into our country because it's wealthy and has a lot of jobs. Oh my God, quick, steal the farms. And the reason for that was to build medium density housing for that incoming middle and upper middle class, which is still unaffordable anyway, so I don't know. Mark Rutte, the biggest loser of the year. We've got 3 notable deaths. We got Henry Kissinger, he went to hell. He was almost 100 years old, so no huge surprise there when he croaked. Did he get the honk? Or did he know something about Hillary Clinton? Oh, shit, yeah, yeah, he did. He was a very good friend of hers. Henry Kissinger, mad strategy, warmonger of the Cold War, who has remained sort of in the inner circle of every administration that's existed since the 60s. Yeah, he finally croaked, and the world breathed a sigh of relief. Sinead O'Connor died. You'll remember Sinead O'Connor not just as a talented musician, but as someone who got completely shit-canned for sparring with the Catholic Church over child abuse, only to be completely exonerated in her claims later. Whoops, and they drove her mad. And then her son killed himself, and so she killed herself. She just said she was batshit for a few years there. She'd had a mental breakdown like half a decade ago on, I think it was Facebook or Insta at the time, back when people used Boomer Book. And then she ended up, I think she went into rehab for a while. She was known to use drugs and suffer from severe depression. So Sinead O'Connor, another notable death, unfortunately, of the year. Good music, good person, actually. Had a wacky personality, but they tried to cast her off as just being batshit. She committed career suicide by criticizing the Pope, only to be to be found out as being 100% correct a few years later, with the Catholic Church abuse scandal roaring into life there back in the 2000s. And then, a final death, Rosalyn Carter. Wife of Jimmy Carter, who is still, he's in basically palliative care at this point. He's dying. I'm surprised that he didn't die already, actually. He and his wife actually seem to have had a genuinely loving relationship, which within politics isn't always the case. Like, you think that Donald Trump and Melania got together because their hearts were skipping beats when they were in each other's proximity? No, I think that was more of a business marriage. I'm sure that there's an attraction there, especially from Trump towards Melania, but at the end of the day, it's more of a political kingmaker sort of marriage. The Clintons, they desperately love each other, but in the wackiest Bonnie and Clyde manner. I think, oddly enough, the Bushes, George and Laura, probably have more of a relationship than like the Clintons or even the Trumps in the romantic sense. But Rosalyn Carter, she died. She was a great help to Jimmy Carter, who himself, again, will probably die soon. And I think he's still waiting for the last guinea worm to be eradicated. He's like, I refuse to go yet. Yes, you can put me in hospice, but I refuse. And so that's rather sad. And the Carter is genuinely good couple. Bad presidency, great post-presidency for the most part. Yeah, there's some TDS there, but he's a lifelong liberal Democrat. Give him some fucking slack. And Rosalyn not wading as much into politics, but she definitely stood by her man. And he went through some hell. Yeah, definitely. I mean, back in the 70s with the oil shocks and shit, everyone was dumping on Carter, and a lot of it was out of his hands. She stood by him, to her credit. So, yeah. Those are a list of winners, losers, and notable deaths for the year. Of course, there are many, many more, but I just wanted to coalesce it into like the top 3. Now we wait for 2024. Yes, it's going to be a little bit wet for fireworks, I think, tonight, but whatever. That's about all. Peace out.